Alright guys, so we made it down to Virginia. I'm with my cousin Nicole. Frankie's running the camera. We're back in Frankie's bachelor pad. And so Nicole hurt her knee last year. How long has it been?
September.
Last September. We were doing Tough Mudder. She came up over a wall, buckled really bad. Good cousin PT that I am told her not to run the race, but she did anyway. And so she's had some knee pain. She's done PT, said about 6 weeks, 12 visits or so. Did some basic strengthening stuff, but it's still been bugging her. What are you doing workout-wise?
Lots of elliptical, trying to stay off it, swimming.
No running.
Well, running, but not a lot.
Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can look at it. I was talking to her earlier, the big complaint right now is deep bending, so deep knee flexion when she's weight bearing. So let's, active range, she's able to straighten it, she's able to bend it, no problems there. Let's go ahead and do a squat. Alright, so no coaching. I did have her squat earlier, but I haven't coached her yet, so let's see what it looks like. And tell me when it hurts.
There.
Okay, back up. And where's the pain at?
In here.
Okay, so she's getting a little bit of knee pain underneath that kneecap. They did x-rays, nothing's broken or anything like that. Don't really know about meniscal pathology or anything along those lines, but so we'll take a peek at some of those other things. I've cleaned that out. I don't think it's torn. I don't think there's any ligament tears. We've checked that stuff before and don't think there's any issues there. So a little bit of knee pain at the bottom of the squat. Couple things notice right away. She goes into a toe out stance, so her feet are a little bit wider than normal. Nothing crazy, but as she squats down, if we watch that right knee, go ahead. That right knee is going to buckle and start to cave in right there. You notice she's stuck at the hip. She can't really get back, and the knees can't come forward enough to dorsiflex. So we're putting a lot of pressure on that kneecap. So we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to see if we can take her pain away with a little mobilization with movement. So I'm going to come behind her, scoot to the side just a bit. And we're going to see if we put a little rotation in the tibia and see if it's a positional fault, something that we can change right away and affect that pain. So what we're going to do, I'm going to come behind. I'm going to give her a little bit of mobilization. Does that bother at all? Okay, go ahead and squat down, same thing. Pain at all in that movement?
No.
Okay, so no pain with the movement. We're going to go ahead and go through a series of reps, do about 10 of those. If your pain comes back, stop me. Still good?
Mm-hmm.
Hips clicking a little bit.
A lot.
Let me regrip. Go ahead again. Still good?
Mm-hmm.
2 more. And good. Okay, so now we see if it made a difference. Go ahead and re-squat without me. Better or worse, no change?
It's better. Okay.
What do you got knee pain-wise?
No.
No pain in the bottom of that spot. Okay, so if it was in the clinic, I would go ahead and do another set. For the sake of the video, we'll leave it here. Some other things to do in the clinic is I would go ahead and tape that to support that position. I am on vacation, don't have any tape with me, but we'll go through another set here after the film's over and just really try to anchor in that position. The thought being that something's happening positionally where her tibia on the femur, that little bit of rotation that needs to occur during end range knee flexion extension isn't happening properly. And so for whatever reason, it's still giving her a little pain. We give it a little positional change, things get better. If we just did that, knee pain would probably improve a little bit, but knowing she's active, she does triathlons, she'll probably end up doing another Tough Mudder. If we don't fix those knee mechanics in that squatting mechanics, single leg stance, she's going to have problems. So we want to clean up that squat a little bit, fix the hip stuff that's going on, the ankle stuff that's going on, to take some pressure off this knee so that knee pain doesn't keep coming back. So I'm going to have you lie back down. Now, I did check her hips a little bit earlier. Go ahead and line your back. If we run her hip through some motion, things get pretty tight. So if I bring her up in the knee flexion, as soon as I get to about 90 degrees, this opposite hip starts to come off the ground, and it happens vice versa on both sides. Get to 90 degrees, and whoop, this hip flexor pulls things off. The thought being we can test her quad as well. Go ahead and flip onto your stomach. We bring things up. I pin that hip down. We come up, and she's stuck. Missing probably 6 or 8 inches there, trying to get heel to butt. Same thing on this side. So that front anterior part of the capsule, quad, iliopsoas, all that nasty stuff coming across the front is obviously pretty tight on her. That could be part of the reason she's getting stuck in her squat. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up some of that tissue quality. Frankie's got the foam roller. I believe that was a Christmas present from us. So we're going to foam roll that hip flexor, do a little bit on that tissue quality. So we're going to come across the front of the tissue, you're going to lay on that foam roller, and you're going to try to come through here. You're going to find some stuff that hurts. When you get on it, pin it, and you can pump that leg kind of back and forth and work that area. If I was in the clinic at this point, we could do some dry needling and some other things for the trigger points.
Is this on the right side?
Yeah, we'll do the bad side for the first. So she's going to work through some of that tissue. When you find something that doesn't feel good,
Do this?
yeah, pin it and then back and forth. Keep pressure on, put some weight on it. Okay, go ahead and search around, find another area. Make sure you get way on the front of your hip, like right on the front side. You can rotate in and out. Probably can't see her face right here, but I'm sure it's making all kinds of nasty expressions. So we sit all day. Nicole does a lot of desk type work, so she's in hip flexion all the time. That tissue in the front there gets constricted, gets knotted down, gets smashed, however you want to call it, and it limits things. So when she goes to squat, she gets past that 90-degree mark, things don't want to move properly, and now her knee and hip are trying to find places to go to make that work. So we're going to work on that a little bit. She's going to get off of that, go ahead and stand up. We got a jump stretch band from good old Youngstown, Ohio. And now we're going to work that hip flexion piece. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hook the band up inside your foot. Okay. We're going to come around the bottom just like we talked about. We're going to come through here. You're going to walk that up kind of as far as you can into your hip. I'll be holding it behind you. And we're going to stretch that hip capsule out the front. Do a little contract relax. Yeah, right leg's going to be back. So you're going to step inside of that. Let's throw a pillow under your knee for comfort. Now if you're at home by yourself, you can anchor this to your table or a bedpost. I'm just going to hold it. Bring your left leg up in front. Now I'm going to walk that back. Tell me when that pulls pretty strong but comfortable.
Good. There.
Okay, now keep your belly tight. Lean forward, keeping your spine. Don't let your spine extend. Just lean forward till you get a stretch in the front of your hip. And when you got that, you're going to contract, relax. You're going to squeeze your glutes, pushing those hips forward as hard as you can. Good. Frank, you want to come around and shoot that from the side too. So as we're looking for the side, she's doing some contract, relax, holding for about 5 seconds, let it go. So now we're trying to affect that capsule, getting a little translatory glide on the hip. Go ahead and squeeze again. The key here is when she leans forward, we got to make sure the back doesn't extend. The spine has to stay neutral. Otherwise, we're just getting bad spinal mechanics, and I really want to work on that hip capsule. Do 2 more. Lean forward, get a stretch, big glute set. This one, don't come out of it. Just stay up there. So squeeze for 5. Don't come out of it. Just relax your glutes. Now lean forward a little bit further. Go again, big squeeze. Good. And keeping tension on that. Let's actually do 1 more. Don't come out of it. Lean a little bit further forward. Keep that spine straight, belly tight. Big squeeze. Come on, 5 seconds. Good. Come all the way out of it. Okay, so we're going to let her out of it. Now we check, recheck. So she's going to come out of it. I'm not going to cue anything at all. Just go ahead and squat. We're going to watch that right knee mechanic as she drops into the bottom of that position. Does that feel any different, right versus left?
What do you mean right versus?
Like your hip. Does it feel any different? How much movement ability you have there? So what I want you to do is we're going to cue this a little bit. See if she feels any different. Go ahead and turn a little bit so he can see you. I want you to squat. Turn so you're facing front of you. I want you to squat, knees turned out, belly tight, and
Do you want feet turned out?
feet straight ahead. And then what you're going to do, tighten your belly, tighten your glutes, get your hips underneath you, and now take your hips and rotate them out. Try to create an arch in your feet as you tweak those hips out. But don't let that big toe come off the ground. Good. So now that arch is there. As you squat, you're going to keep those knees coming out, keep that arch intact, and drop into the bottom.
We can do the feet out.
Push the hips out, push the hip out, push the hip out, push the hip out. Good. And back up. Okay? What do we got pain-wise? Okay, go ahead again. Don't let that arch collapse. Big arch. Push those knees out. Big arch. Go. Knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out, knees out. Good. Okay? So, a little bit better squat. We're able to keep that knee out. Hips got a little bit more mobility on this side. And that's something she'd have to work. Obviously, she's going to have to do it on both sides. Both hips were pretty tight. But we got to start to work those mechanics. So 2 pieces of homework. She's smashing the hip with a foam roller or a lacrosse ball. Working the band, trying to open that capsule. She's got to fix that squat position. So that would be the 3 big things that I was going to work with her. One other thing to just kind of reinforce that hip external rotation. Love the clamshell exercise. You guys have seen it before. You're going to lay on your side.
On my right side?
Left side. Okay, and we want to just work those hip external rotators, help her with that cueing, that knee out cueing, getting that glute medius more activated here. So we're going knees bent, you're going to rotate up into that clamshell. Again, spine has to stay straight, don't let that rotate. Back down. and back down. So just a way to reinforce that pattern, that knees out pattern, trying to get that glute a little more activated as she works that pattern. Okay, so I'm here for a couple of days. We're going to work on our knee for a couple of days. I'm going to have her practice these patterns for the week, and we'll see if it makes any difference by the end of the week. But quick fix, just by giving that little tibial rotation, fix the things around it, the hip and the ankle around it, make sure those things do well, and we'll see how our knee pain does over the next couple of weeks. Thanks for watching, guys.